So this is a little uncomfortable for me if I'm being totally honest because I'm probably going to be more transparent in this video than you've probably ever heard me in any other of my videos, and it's really difficult when you put things out there and then you have to go back and you correct certain things, and sometimes people, they even question things that are really good if it was even real at all. And my hope is that that's not the case with this. However, this is a financial confession that I feel like is very important for me to say, for me to free myself and liberate myself from any stories or anything like that that can ever come. So if you've been on my channel for any period of time, you know I've talked a lot about money, and I talk about money mindset. I talk about some of my financial struggles and money blocks and wealthy people and the mindsets. And I talk about a lot of things related to money. However, over the last probably 2 or 3 months, I've noticed that there's just been something missing. And it's not that I lied about anything that I said about money and how much I make or anything like all of that stuff was 100% true. However, even talking about that, I realized that even though people like some of the content, people didn't like some of the content, there was still something missing. And what was missing was the old me. And here's why I say that, because people, like, they have a talent or skill in something, and sometimes they have so much trouble finding who they want to target. And sometimes the answer is right there clearly in your face. And sometimes the best person that you can help is the old you. And the challenge that I've been having for the last 2 or 3 months is that, yes, I focus on money, but that's just one element of who I am. And even though I spent like days, weeks, months, and years studying money and understanding mindset and things like that, there's one topic that I spent probably double that amount of time on, and that's marriage. If you've heard me any period of time, like, I didn't grow up with a lot of married people, a lot of healthy relationships, examples of what it looks like. And I myself, I was not a model for anybody to follow until I got married. And, growing up, the only married couple that I saw kind of like on a regular basis was two people that they didn't even like each other, and I remember telling myself, if this is what marriage is like, I never ever wanted to get married. But I told myself, even though I never wanted to get married, when I was in high school, that I was always going to stay faithful to 3 girls. And so when I was in high school, I had 3 girlfriends. And I told myself that I wasn't going to talk to anybody else and I wasn't going to date anybody else outside of these 3. And so I had 3 girlfriends, and my mindset is that I'm being faithful to these 3 girls because I'm not talking to anybody else outside of them. And it's like, obviously, that is a warped sense of thinking. They did not know about each other. It was a horrible idea. But in my teenage brain, that's something that I justified because of all of the dysfunction that I saw in relationships. So obviously, I had a lot of failed relationships, a lot of pain around relationships, causing pain and pain inflicted on me. And so I'm really of the belief that sometimes the very thing that brings you pain is the very thing that you become passionate about yourself. And so for me, I didn't think marriage was possible for somebody like me because of all of the wrong that I had done. And if I ever got married, I felt like it's only a matter of time before all of what I put out there, it was going to come back on me and it was going to hurt me. And so I just feared it and I didn't want it. And it took a lot of working to get over that. And finally I got over it. And I got married. And I've been married for almost 22 years at the date of this video. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, out of all of the things that I've ever accomplished in my life, all things that I've done, previously and in the past, my greatest success in life, hands down, is my marriage. And so for me, talking about money, talking about all of the other things and not talking about marriage, it felt like I was lying. I felt like I was being incongruent. It felt like, I was denying a part of me, the very thing that I'm proud of. And I'll be very honest with you guys. I was fearful to talk about marriage because I felt like if I talk about marriage, then I also have to talk about all of the other things that kept me from having a successful marriage and having a successful relationship from my past. And that would have also included me talking about the people that I love, even to this day, which is my family. And I felt like if I talked about that my family might criticize me. Because if I tell a certain story, you obviously know who that is. They obviously know who that is. And I didn't want people to feel bad about something from my past that I observed in their lives and how I learned from what they did, what not to do. I didn't want, that kind of conflict. I didn't want my family to feel like I don't appreciate them, because whether it was the good, the bad of what to do or not to do, like all of that, it shaped me. Like it provided a foundation. And I think that I got just as much value out of what not to do versus what I got to do, in terms of modeling. And so all of it was valuable, but I thought to myself that if I talk about some of these things, that it might cause a conflict within my family. And it's like, I don't want that conflict. I don't want that to this day. However, I can no longer hide what I really believe in and what I stand for and what really matters most to me. Like I can't deny that any longer. And my hope is that once I share some of these things, that it doesn't offend certain people. But if it does, my hope is that they charge it to my head and not my heart, because that's not my intention whatsoever. Why am I saying all of this? I am saying all of this because I really believe that helping the old me, us, if you're an entrepreneur, helping the old you, like that is the best service to the world that we can ever have, because nobody is like us. Nobody is like them. Nobody is like you. And so when you're able to tap into the old you, some of the pain you felt, the stories that you told yourself, some of the head talk you had, some of the challenges that you faced, some of the insecurities you had, and you can truly speak to that person. Now the old you might be in a version of somebody else. They can look at you and say, you know what it's like to be me. And now they're much more open and receptive to you helping them, because you know exactly what that's like. So for me, somebody who's, they're married, somebody who struggled financially, somebody who has a business entrepreneur mindset, or somebody who invests, but they still struggle financially. They have a really good marriage, but they know it can be better. And they want to leave a financial legacy to their children, but where is it going to come from? Because all of what they have that's built is just bills. It's not any kind of financial structure. I want to help that person. That was me. I had all of the intentions. My heart was in the right place. I even had certain knowledge, but there were so many insecurities and beliefs that held me back from taking that risk of being the person in my family to change our financial trajectory, in addition to being a model of what marriage looks like and what a healthy relationship looks like. I didn't have that. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect by any means. I am not. Marriage is something that I'm so confident in because it's something that I work on every single day. That's where I put the most time in. And it's like when you think about something that you literally spend day and night thinking about how can you improve, you're going to have a confidence in that mainly other people may not have, because they just don't put in the time. And it's not that they're bad. They just put in time somewhere else. Marriage is something like, that's the area where I put in the most time. Marriage is more important than money to me. And I know some people would disagree with that, because in their mind, they're like, look, if you got money, you can just buy another wife. You can just buy another husband. I don't subscribe to that, because I really believe in my heart. And I know from personal experience, no matter what you're going through, no matter how bad things are, if you have that one person by your side that you trust, and you know they're going to be there through thick and thin, through highs and lows, through peaks and valleys, when you know they're going to be there no matter what, it makes whatever challenge, whatever pain, whatever heart, whatever you're experiencing, it makes it that much easier for you to go through. And you can't buy that. That only comes from you having somebody that you're in covenant with, somebody that you trust. You have their back and they have yours. And it's like, that's what I want to talk about. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And that's what I'm committed to. But I am fully committed. I have decided. And the word decide means to cut off all other possibilities. And it's like whoever, they don't like it, I ruffle some feathers. It's like, man, that's not my intention. But that's also not my problem, because I really feel like this is a calling for me. It's an assignment for me to help those that are just like I used to be, and help them to get from where they are to where they want to be. Because guess what? There is somebody right now who I am looking at that's 10 steps ahead of where I am right now. And I'm looking to them as my example and my model to follow, from getting me to where I am right now to where I want to be. And it's like, had it not been for the people that I'm looking at right now, I wouldn't even believe those steps are even possible for me. So I want to be that same possibility for others that are not quite where I am as somebody is, and the couples that I look to that are for me, and they're like far above where I'm at. And it's not about somebody being better or worse, but it's about somebody showing you what's possible for you. Because everybody's version of marriage, money, finances, wealth, it's all different. But when you can have somebody who gives you an example of what's possible, now you can take what's possible and create your own version of it. And that's what I really want to do. One thing that I committed to really buy into and go all out on this new path is I committed to creating a newsletter. And this newsletter is 100% free. And the newsletter is all about marriage, money, and mindset. And it's all about helping husbands and wives enhance their marriage and multiply their money. Because the one thing that I have seen, and I'm seeing it firsthand, is that if you multiply your money but you don't enhance your marriage, it's only a matter of time before the money is going to replace your marriage. And now you're no longer going to be married. But if you can multiply your money and enhance your marriage, now you're living the ultimate lifestyle. Because you have the freedom, you have the finances, and you have the fulfillment. Nothing is missing. When you have an enhanced marriage and you have money and you have time freedom, everything is there. There's nothing missing. And that's when you can influence people at the highest level, show other people what's possible. Because I'll tell you, years ago, before I ever got married, I didn't think marriage was possible, and I thought it was hopeless because of what I saw. And now the more examples that I have seen and that I saw on a regular basis, even before I got married, it allowed me to think that it's possible. That everybody's not like what I saw and what I did not see. And it's possible because I saw somebody like you. And somebody like you who knows what it's like to be me can be influenced and can influence me to do what it is that you're doing because you're showing me what's possible. That's what I experience, and that's what I want other people to experience as well. So I just want to, if you're somebody who's, you've been coming to this channel and you've heard me talk about money or other topics, and now all of a sudden you hear me talking about money and marriage, and you think that like what happened, this is what happened. And my confession, if you will, is that I can no longer just talk about money on this channel and really feel like I'm serving you or anybody else at the highest level because I'm denying the thing that matters most to me, which is my marriage. And no longer am I doing that. So if you're somebody who's married or somebody who's about to be married or want to be married and you really want to learn about like enhancing your marriage and multiplying your money, this is the place for you. And I'm going to share so many different things about my wife and I, and not to make it about us. It's about our experience that you can benefit from, because it's not about us at all. Because it's not even about the people who I actually admire. It's not about them. It's about their experience. And so I'm going to be sharing a lot of different experiences that I really believe that people can learn from, because there are also other experiences that I have learned from other people that have shared it with me. And I want to do a service to those that come to this channel and share it with them as well. So if you know somebody or you're that person who really wants to enhance your marriage and multiply your money, I encourage you to check back at this channel and look at what's here to serve you and send it to somebody else who you also think can benefit from it. And if you have any interest at all in this brand new free newsletter, Marriage Money Mindset, I want to encourage you to go to marriagemoneymindset.com. And again, this newsletter is all about enhancing your marriage and multiplying your money, and it's 100% free. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside.